Hello, and welcome back, Monsketeers, Skeleton Crew. Welcome back to another episode of Ragnarok and a Skeleton Crew Fight Club episode. You know you'll love them. Even if you don't. Even if you think you don't enjoy this style of the Ragnarok podcast, you're wrong. You actually do. I have it in good authority. Skeleton Crew, Monsketeers. That's all we got. I was trying to think if there's anything else. There's only that. There's only supporters of Leal Legacy, aka Skeleton Crew, and then supporters and, people who enjoy, or not even enjoy, supporters of the podcast, Ragnarok Monsketeers. So, those are the two camps you can fall into here in this organization. My name's Justin. I presume most of you know that. If you're watching this, you might know that. But then again, this is still kind of like, punk rock and underground. So maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know who I am. And you just stumbled across this video or this podcast on your favorite platform, favorite streamer. Are podcast platforms streamers? I guess so, right? Or do you download the episode? I don't know. But anyway, I digress. If it's your first episode joining us, that's who I am. And this is a fight for me. I'm very tired. I'm exceptionally tired right now. And I feel like I say that often, but then I feel like I maybe just tired often. I had jiu-jitsu today, so that's working against me. I definitely, man, it's, we're coming right along. We're coming right along in that. And being paired up in class with, there are some folks in the class who I'm slightly ahead of, which doesn't mean a whole lot. And then there's people in the class where they're ahead of me significantly, but I'm being choked less. I'm being able to survive more. I'm being able to, defend being choked unconscious more often than not. More rolls than before. I was tapping a lot, and now I don't tap as much. And that's success. That's progress. That's a good thing. It's just, I'm a white belt. I'm learning to survive is essentially what it is. I saw that somewhere, or I don't know, maybe somebody said it to me, but it was like white belts, the whole goal is learning to survive. And then blue belts, you are gaining like confidence in attacking. And then purple belts is a realm where you know what works for you, and you're honing those skills specifically. Then a brown belt is you're mastering it, and you're becoming more well-rounded too. And then, black belt, you're a black belt. I could have made half of that up, but me believing I heard it somewhere is real. That's honest. The rest of it sounded pretty cool. I kind of hope somebody didn't say that to me. I kind of hope that's a original me thought, because that's pretty cool. I'd be proud of that if that was a me original, but I don't think it is. Yeah, for those of you on the video side of things right now, I'm still working with the layout. I'm still working on it. I moved the mic arm on this side so you could see more of the things on this side. And then I moved the camera in so you can't see the laptop I'm looking at that I'm using as a monitor. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're still working it out. Maybe if I pulled, I did. I tried to pull back, but the floor where I'm at is it's not uneven, but there's a lip. And if I move back, part of the desk is on that lip and everything's I don't know. But I wanted you to see my mug. I'm kind of into mugs. But when I put it down, it's out of frame. Maybe if I move it this way. This is all stuff that professionals do before they record. And then there's me. I'm not that. I haven't done an episode like this since we got back from our most recent Disney trip. So that's exciting. There's a lot to go talk about, a lot of fun things. And here's an update. I'm always doing updates, but I'm ever evolving in this, so that's a good thing, right? The watch-alongs that we all know and love, I'm not going to be continuing with those in the same way that I have been. I have found, knock on wood, I don't know if this is actually wood. Oh, this is. Knock on wood. I found a way to do the watch-alongs the way I wanted to originally. And that is just like any other cartoon commentary. I do cartoon commentaries. For those of you who don't know, you can find those at leallegacy.com, YouTube, Rumble, wherever. Like 400 classic cartoons, nearabouts, a little less, but we're getting close. So 300 plus, like 300 plus, but it's like plus because we're at the tail end of the 300s. It's a lot of cartoons. And where was I going with that? Oh yeah, go watch those. But anyway, I wanted to do the same thing for movies, and I am, and this helps with that aspect as well. But I wanted to do the cartoon commentary specifically for like all animated things that I really like, and that includes all of the Disney animated feature films. Well, YouTube did not support that idea. YouTube didn't like that idea. They're very supportive of copyright claims being submitted. You know what I mean? And to a degree, I understand. But also to a degree, I respectfully disagree, because I feel like commentary falls under fair use. And that's my argument. And I use that argument in times when, there have been other claims made on whatever, cartoon or whatnot they have been made on. And I use that argument, and more often than not, I get oh, okay, cool. No problem. You're right. So I don't know. But being that it's Disney, I feel like they have this, blind union with YouTube where they're just like, hey, here's a list of whatever. Just no matter what it is, we don't want it up. That's cool. That's fair. But punk rock, you know what I mean? I'm going to find a way. To do it, and I found a way to do it. So yeah, that's the big news. So the watch-alongs aren't entirely disappearing. They've just become true commentaries. So I moved them on the website. They're under the commentaries section now, and I'm starting over. because I'm not just going to pick, because I got all the way up to Sleeping Beauty. Mostly there's some gaps in there, and I've filled those gaps. So I found, what was it that I couldn't find? Make Mine Music, and then Victory Through something or other, like a World War II animated feature that Disney did. So I've got those now to add to the collection that I didn't have in the watch-alongs. So that's, it just makes sense to start over. But anyway, I got up to Sleeping Beauty. I think 101 Dalmatians was going to be next. And when I discovered that, I can make it work. And then if the way I'm doing it now falls through, then I have a backup plan. And if I'm forced to land on the backup plan, hopefully, if that were ever to happen, I would have an even further measure to take. But we'll, for right now, it's success, and we're doing it. So all that rambling being said, you can now watch. I'm starting over. You know what I mean? I said I'm starting over because it didn't make sense to do the next watch along as a commentary, and just like, and a lot of the episodes too, I feel like there were flaws that now can be remedied. But it just makes sense to start from the beginning with the true commentary format, just the commentary track right over the visual, like the film itself. You know what I mean? So it's like watching a director's commentary, but it's a me commentary. It's a lot of fun. So Snow White is already up. Snow White's already up. I didn't really make a big deal of it. I didn't want to make an official like update or announcement or whatever until that I saw that it was in fact going to work this way. And it is. So here we are. Now, instead of doing the watch alongs, 3, 2, 1, everybody hit play on go, you can just watch the movie. You can watch the movie with the commentary at our website, leallegacy.com. Go there. There's a commentaries section. Click on that, and then boom, it's right there for you. Or you can go to Rumble. Rumble is like the new Wild West kind of YouTube. And, people will have, I don't know, like social or political stances on the use of the platform. And I think that's super ridiculous because, there needs to be competition. YouTube can't hold the monopoly on video streaming. What would you call YouTube? Because YouTube, the public can just upload videos, and that's their whole content library for the most part. But anyway, there needs to be another YouTube to compete with YouTube, and that's Rumble. So for the time being, until anything, if or when, hopefully not when, and it stays if, they make some changes and I'm not able to host the movies there, you can find them there, Rumble. So everything else, everything will still be on YouTube and stuff. So basically Rumble, for what we are using it for, Rumble has become the place where I'm posting what YouTube won't let me. So go check out our Rumble, subscribe, do all those cool and fun things. And there will be videos exclusive to Rumble because simply YouTube won't let me post it there, and Rumble will. So it's fun. There's, aside from Snow White, there is a cartoon commentary that YouTube didn't let me post, but Rumble did, and it's my favorite It's my favorite World War II propaganda cartoon that Disney produced. And it is the most uncomfortable cartoon to watch. You think that making a Nazi one was uncomfortable? Well, let me tell you, this one is rough. Actually, did I post that? What was that one called? Education for Death, the making of a Nazi. I don't think YouTube let me post that one either, and I don't know if I have it on Rumble yet. I was able to post it on Twitter, but yeah, these are two of the most intense Disney animated shorts that exist anywhere, and it's amazing. It's amazing what, like, just go watch them. Go watch them. One's called Education for Death, the making of a Nazi. If it's not on Rumble, right, it will be. You know, it might already be, but if it's not, I will upload that one there too. But you can find that one on my Twitter. And then the other one's called Into Führer's Face, and it's it's hilarious, but it's hilariously uncomfortable. Watch them. That's all I can say. They have to be experienced. I can't really just throw it out there, but they are anti-Axis, propaganda cartoons by Disney. Down with the Nazis, up with America. It's exactly what you would want from propaganda, anything from World War II. You want it as Captain America as it can feel, or at least I do. So yeah, go dig us up on Rumble, and from here forward, all the movie commentaries will be on Rumble. I don't know if I'm even going to bother trying to put them on YouTube because it always bothers me. And so some of the copyright claims, so for the, I'm calling them cringe cinema commentaries, I'm making sure that they're all public domain with those movies, but still sometimes there will be like a some sort of like horror collection jockey that like has, those things you find in Walmart for $5 where it's like 50 horror movies for $5, and it's like, whoa, 50 movies, but it's all the worst of the worst movies, which in turn to me usually turn out to be some of the best, but I digress. Yeah, they'll try to lay a copyright claim, and it's like, no. The same way you're being able to sell this, I'm able to use it. The way you're using it, you know how you're free to use it? We're all free to use it because it's in public domain. So don't get mad because people will be less inclined to buy your stuff because they figure out they can find it elsewhere. I don't know what to say. But anyway, that doesn't happen on Rumble. So I'm stoked. Like my commentary for Plan 9 from Outer Space, that's not on YouTube because one of those situations happened. You can find that on Rumble. And then if you have weird feelings about going to Rumble, which ridiculous, you can just go to our website, leallegacy.com and /commentaries. How about that? That's actually the URL. So that's leallegacy.com/commentaries. You can find all the movie commentaries there or on Rumble. There we are. Boom. I don't feel like I breathed enough when I was going through that. This tea, dude, I'm telling you. So anyway, yes, here we are back from Disney, our latest Disney trip. And it was a good trip. It was good. It was, be real with you, kids were annoying. I don't know, man. Something happens to kids on vacations, and they just become, maybe it's because you like, as a parent, you take these kids on vacation, and in your mind you have like how much it all cost and how much everything is costing, and like everything that went into making it happen. And if they are less than enthusiastic about anything, it aggravates you, or maybe it's just me, but I feel like that would be a common theme for a lot of parents. Like, don't tell me don't ask to watch YouTube on my phone because you're bored and we're in the middle of the Magic Kingdom. Like, that sort of thing makes me want to pull your underwear over your head, like the worst wedgie imaginable, and just push you down. I don't do that to my kids. I give them wedgies every now and then, but not over the head. I'm not cruel. I'm not a monster. But that's to be expected. I mean, they were fine. When it comes to that, you always set up for like a certain degree of extraordinary child annoyances. So when you go into it already with that in your mind, it softens the blow. But all in all, the two littles were great. Maverick and Rhodey were like saintly, which is wild, because you think like the younger of the kids would be the more challenging, but no, Maverick's always been a solid park goer. He went to the parks for the first time when he was 3 months old, just like Rhodey, and from that first trip on, man, he's always been a champion. Like, sure, he'll have his moments, but like, what kid doesn't? Rhodey didn't. Rhodey, man, he just rocked it. He was a champion all the way through and through. He never cried, nothing. And for those there are people out there who are like, why do you even take kids that young? They're not going to remember it. It's like, okay, but I am. I'm going to remember it. Am I not allowed to want to build magical memories with my kids? Like, they got to be fully able to retain the memory too. We're going to go again in times where they can remember, but like, I take video of everything. So though they won't remember, Maverick and Rhodey are going to get to watch videos and like, oh, look at us as babies in Disney World. Like, that's rad, because I'm rad. I'm a rad dad. I hope it made all of you as sick as that made me to say. I hope it was as sickening for you to hear as it was for me to say. That was rough. That was terrible. Yeah. So we did 3 parks. We did Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, and Epcot in that order. I gotta work on this framing for the video aspect of this. Last episode of Fight Club, I liked it. I liked how it was laid out. I liked how it was set up. But again, I said I'm tired. So setting this up and doing this has been, like, from my point of view, this is the best setup I've done aesthetically for me. Like, everything I need is easily accessible. It's all good. I think I'm just going to have to, like, pull the table back and just not even worry about that lip. Oh, but see, then I got the monitor or the laptop coming into frame. We're going to figure it out. But for now, look at this cord now. Was that cord always there? Could you always see that? Anyway, it's not the end of the world. What was I going to say? What was I saying? Oh, yeah, we did Epcot last. So we did, in that order, we did Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, Epcot. Hollywood Studios, and for those of you, I'm going to commit to doing this. I know I said this last episode where I was going to, like, add something in, and I never did. I'm going to do it this time, though. Like, I'm into it. Oh, and back to the commentaries for the Disney films. I'm still going to release the audio as a podcast as well. For if you subscribe to the podcast feed, you've seen that. You saw Snow White commentary pop up, and I wonder how many people were like, "Wait a minute, what?" Or if anybody cared that much. But you can still utilize the audio as a watch along. I'm just not going to do the 3, 2, 1 go thing anymore, because I'm providing you an outlet to go watch it. So if you're wanting to do it as a watch along, cool, it will work the same way. You're just going to have to be responsible for doing like your own syncing, and shouldn't be extraordinarily difficult. But if you want to save the effort, just go to our website. Go to our website. It's right there for you. Super easy. Super duper easy. Okay, so I digress. Yeah, what I was going to say was I'll add in, like I said, I video everything. I'm really into like capturing family moments. And then people could argue, well, why don't you just live in the moment and take it in? I can do both. Like I got this, where's my backpack? Oh, it's over there. I'm not going to go get it. I got a handheld gimbal. You know, it's like a little like handheld steady cam kind of thing. And then I can like also move, pan and tilt and all those kind of things. Which is really cool. So I'm able to wear a baby, have that in my hand, and look around while knowing that my phone is running video at the same. Like I got it. I'm not missing out on anything. So yeah, I just got a bunch of footage, and I always use the footage for Vloggentaries, and I'm going to, but I'm also going to throw into the video version of this episode. So if you want to see, there's fun visuals, and this episode, you can find on YouTube still. You can also find it on Rumble and our website, but if you're a YouTube devotee, you can find it there. And I recommend it because there'll be some fun things that aren't included in the podcast only like version of this. I'm trying harder. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do things that are more entertaining. And also the commentaries, again, going back to that, because I just want to make sure everything's in line. I tried to do retrospectives that went along with every watch along, and I'm still going to kind of do that too, where instead of just reading Wikipedia, like just making an audiobook of Wikipedia for you, I think I'm just going to keep it more freeform, and there'll be Skeleton Crew Fight Club episodes, I believe, or they're retrospectives, because it's still a dive into things. I might still call them retrospectives. They'll just be less, regurgitation and more like this, kind of. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. So, there we go. And maybe the Vloggentaries too. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Just go with it. Go with the flow. You might see some things that you go like, huh, that's new. And yeah, you're right. You're going to be right. But that's kind of how I've always done things. I just kind of always just do things. And so far, the cartoon commentaries have been the thing to stick the longest and stick the most. So I'm just going to keep following my nose with things like that. Like, oh, okay, this is a good idea. And I think the movie commentaries are going to be great as well. I just needed to find a place to where I could post them, because YouTube would get annoying about it. Anyhow, yeah, so we started our trip at Hollywood Studios, which, some hot takes, folks. Some hot takes here. I'm going to say Hollywood Studios. Okay, look, if you have not been to Disney World and you're like, hey, you go fairly frequently, what parks would you recommend? And here's my park order, okay? Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and then Animal Kingdom. Now, I've only done Animal Kingdom once, but I feel like that's all I needed to do was Animal Kingdom once. From what I could gather, it's a big zoo with a handful of rides. They got the Avatar area, which, I mean, is cool if you like Avatar. I don't like or dislike Avatar. I feel nothing about it. It was cool to see, though, like the rides they had. But once I saw them, it's like, okay. It's not like Rise of the Resistance, where I want to ride that every time. I want to go to Galaxy's Edge every time. Yeah, so that's why Hollywood Studios outranks Animal Kingdom, but also there's a piece of me. There's a piece of me that wants to put Epcot in front of Magic Kingdom. And I know that's a wild thing to say, but I grew up going to Disneyland, and Magic Kingdom is basically just East Coast Disneyland, but it lacks there's a warmth to Disneyland. There's a certain amount of heart to Disneyland that Magic Kingdom just doesn't replicate. I don't think it's something that can be replicated. It's very, I don't know, man. If you're a Disney park goer, I think you might agree with me, or at least understand what I'm saying. There's a certain feel to both. There's a feel to every Disney park, but like Disneyland and Magic Kingdom are kind of like a copy. Magic Kingdom is a copy of Disneyland, basically. Yeah, but it's just like, it feels like a copy. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like the original. Now, if you've never experienced the original, then you don't know anything else, and it's great. But having experience, like growing up with Disney, and my wife says the same thing though too. She grew up going to Disney World, so Magic Kingdom was to her, or is to her, what Disneyland is to me. But even she can acknowledge, like, there's a feel to Disneyland that is very uniquely Disneyland, that that alone makes it different. It has a smaller castle. The park itself is more like smushed together, but that's to its benefit, I think. And then growing up on the West Coast and looking out to Disney World, Epcot was always the Disney World icon to me. Like, that was always it's like, you think Disneyland, like, they got the castle for the logo. Well, Spaceship Earth, the Epcot ball, that was always the iconic logo of Disney World to me. It was like, oh, that's different. We don't have one of those here. So when I think Disney World, I immediately think Epcot before anything else. And honestly, when I was a kid, before I really knew much of anything, like before the internet, you know what I mean? To where the idea of Disney World was like, only I knew of Disney World, and the only glimpses I would get of Disney World where it was like, if they did something on Disney Channel or like Travel Channel, or like way back in the earlier 90s on TGIF, where they would have like all the shows on TGIF, Boy Meets World, Full House, Family Matters. Everyone would be at Disney World. All the shows were shot at Disney World for that Friday night. But that would be my only like glimpses, or that's all I got. That's all I had to go off of. So the thing that stood out to me was Spaceship Earth, because I don't know. I didn't even know there was a castle. I always thought, like, we have a castle in Disneyland, and then Disney World's got that ball thing, that giant golf ball looking thing. And I was wrong. There's more to it. So we went, and we usually kind of, I feel like definitely the last two times, but maybe even, no, the last two times, I think, was it. The last two times that we've gone down to Disney World, we've gone with Marissa's cousin, Carrie, and her kids. We did that this time as well. So we did all three parks with them. It was a good time. I like a good sized group. You know what I mean? Like, it was 3 adults and then 6 kids, I think. Yeah, because she has 2, we have 4. That's math. That's six. Six kids. Wow. Like saying it out loud is a lot more daunting than actually like doing it. But yeah, anyway. You can tell how tired I am by how many I'm giving you, and I'm giving you quite a few. There we go again. So we started off at Hollywood Studios, pretty rad. Got to explore. I've never actually like really gotten to explore Hollywood, Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Land. And I got to this time, and this is where like rider swap. If you got littles, they can't go on rides or certain rides. You and your partner flip flop. One waits in line, does the ride, then you flip, and the parent that sat with the kids gets to go on the ride. So we were doing that. It was, I don't know. And we mixed them with like lightning lanes and stuff like that, Genie Plus and all that. So my wife's a wizard with all those things. If you got Disney travel plans, she'll be happy to provide you with tips and suggestions. Let me tell you, she's a master at this thing. But yeah, so doing that, this was a time where I wasn't on a ride, and I actually think my wife was with me when we were doing this. We were together doing this because the way we didn't have to, I don't know if we had to rider swap that time around or if we just used a light. I don't know. For some reason, she and I got to actually ride a number of rides together without a child. And that was phenomenal. Oh, we did do a rider swap because somebody had to. So she and I sat out, and then we would ride together, and then Carrie would sit with the babies and the other kids. So she would take all the kids on the ride with her, come back, and then we would go on the ride. And that happened a couple times. But this is one of those times where it did happen. We got to actually walk around Batu and sightsee. And I previously hadn't gotten to do that. We would go there, we would ride the rides in that area, get something to eat, and move on to the next section of the park. Well, doing the rider swap thing, waiting for half our group to finish their time on the ride, we got to walk around, and it was nice. It was nice to be able to like soak it all in, take it all in, and not have to constantly wonder what a kid is doing, or like dad, or I'm hungry, or I gotta go to the bathroom, or you know what I mean. Just like there were no distractions, so that was pretty cool. We also ate breakfast over in Galaxy's Edge. Well, we didn't eat it there. We got breakfast in Galaxy's Edge, and then we sat somewhere else because some of us wanted Galaxy's Edge food. Some of our group wanted wherever it was the ABC, the commissary. That's where we went. We took food from a galaxy far, far away to the ABC commissary. Commissary. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyhow, and then from there, no, I'm not going to break down the whole thing, but it was cool. Yeah, we got to do Toy Story Toy Story Land. Toy Story Land is cool, but very, it feels small. I mean, there's quite a bit to it, and I guess it's really the same size as anywhere else, any other land, but for whatever reason, like, get it small too. It feels small. Didn't mean to do that. But anyhow, because they really only have like what they got. They got the Woody's Roundup, like arcade game kind of ride. Then they got the Slinky Dog roller coaster, and then the alien saucer spinner. So there's only like 3 things to do over there. Huh. But then you can argue that Galaxy's Edge just has the Millennium Falcon ride and Rise of the Resistance, so there's only two things to do. And see, this is really what it's coming down to with my statement of Hollywood Studios, like, is definitely you can do a whole day at Hollywood Studios, but I don't know, man. There's just something about Hollywood Studio. There's plenty to do when you stop to think about it. Tower of Terror, they got Rock and Roller Coaster, a bunch of shows. So maybe it's just not my speed. I think that's what it comes down to. I'm not as wowed by it, I guess. It feels like California Adventure in Disneyland, and I have the same feelings about California Adventure Disneyland, where it's just kind of like, yeah, it's a thing. This is cool. All right. Anyway, I have more fun elsewhere, but it was cool. All in all, it was cool. You know what was really, really cool? And I don't know why. Oh, this popped into my head because I was thinking Disney California Adventure has a gas station, like, themed store kind of thing where they sell Oswald the Lucky Rabbit stuff. It's not as exciting as it sounds, but it's there. It exists. Well, right now with the 100 years of Disney, they have like collections coming out from every decade of the 100 years of Disney, and the very first decade is the 1920s, and that's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. That's his time to shine. So there was a really fun amount of things. Like, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of Oswald branded stuff, and I'm sinking in regret right now because I wanted to get like the Mickey ears. They have Oswald ears, and I wanted to get Oswald ears, and I didn't get Oswald ears, and I have to go back now to get the ears, and I hope they have them the next time we go. Oh, man. But there's so much Oswald stuff. And when I said I was going to put, like, clips or, like, things into the video version of this that you're going to miss out on the audio. Well, this is one of them. Here's some of that stuff. It's Oswald stuff. And that was really cool. But I am feeling an enormous amount of regret not picking at least one Oswald-centric thing up. But you know what? Two of the things from that, like the Oswald stuff, my wife already got me. She got me an Oswald shirt and a stuffed Oswald playing a banjo, which I want to bring down here and incorporate into this set over here. And I will. I just forgot to grab them before we're doing this. And the babies are asleep. It's in my room. Anyway. Second day or second park was Magic Kingdom. And Magic Kingdom's always Magic Kingdom. It was a good time. And Maverick. Not to get ahead of myself. Maverick. We were real. So Maverick's 2. There's not a whole bunch he's able to do at the parks, depending on the park. At Hollywood Studios, there's really not a lot that he can do. But he is a giant Monsters, Inc. fan. And we took him to meet Sully. And it was weird because so he had fallen asleep in the line to meet Sully. And I was like, we're not going to wait in line. And then he's asleep. Like, so I broke his nap to wake him up so we could meet Sully. And he was like very awkward and shy, like he acknowledged Sully, but then from there he just kind of like got real a smiley kind of shy, you know what I mean? And we were like, he's never that way with anybody. But for whatever reason, he was with Sully, and we thought it was just because he had been woken up from a nap. But no, it turns out when it comes to Disney, like, characters at the parks, Maverick is the shyest dude ever. And it's really just like heartwarming to see because he gets so starstruck. It's starstruck, I think, is what it is. But yeah, so that was the thing. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but Magic Kingdom was cool. It was we got to ride Tron. Tron was rad. Very, very, very short ride, but a cool experience nonetheless. A lot of the experience for that ride comes like, it's the lead up to the actual ride itself. Disney World in general is really good about making line queues interesting, like not horrible to wait in. I mean, yeah, some of them, like, you're waiting out in the heat and it's just kind of like, and then waiting in line is always waiting in line. But they've made the waiting in line experience as immersive, and it doesn't kill the magic having to wait in a line at Disney World. Disneyland, some of the line queues are just kind of like, you're just outside standing in line, but it's Southern California. The weather is always phenomenal. You don't necessarily want to do that in Central Florida because, it's the heat. So they do a lot with their line queues to like help shade you or provide air conditioning where they can, and it's not just going to be some drab surroundings. Like they gussy it up to keep you in the magic. And anyway, I trailed off. I'm very tired today. Where was I going with that? Magic Kingdom. We did the standards, Carousel of Progress, People Mover. Like I said, we did Tron. Tron was cool. Tron was, like I said, very short. It's like a 60-second ride, but it's a very fast ride. And I think it's if a kid is tall enough to go on it, Bane happens to be kind of a nervous kid when it comes to going on rides. And I was the same way at his age too, so I don't blame him at all. And I understand the anxiety that comes with like the anticipation of going on a ride. A lot of times can like the excitement can start bleeding into like an anxiety, and that's how I am able to process it and describe it as an adult. For him, I also remember how that felt, not really being able to break down what he's feeling. Like, he's not going to be able to break it down the same way as an adult is, but I know what he's feeling because I'd been there. So I don't try to push him on a ride that he's uncomfortable with. But if I've gone on the ride and I have an understanding of the kind of rides he likes, I will push a little bit harder than, I gauge it. Like Guardians of the Galaxy. He was very uncomfortable with the idea of going on Guardians of the Galaxy, but he ended up doing it and ended up loving it. And I encouraged it. I didn't let him not ride that ride. I would have if he like panicked about it, but he was nervous enough to like brave it out. And because of how much he loves like Space Mountain, I knew he was going to love Guardians. So I definitely coaxed him on that, and it paid off. Not having been on Tron before, I didn't do that with Bane. I just was like, you don't want to go? That's totally cool, man. You don't have to go. But now, after having gone on it, I think the next time we go, I'm going to be a little more encouraging of like, no, dude, you will like this. It's less extreme, I would say, than It's less extreme than Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot. I would put it even less extreme than Space Mountain, to be honest with you. It's such a short ride, but so Space Mountain is just like fast in the dark. Tron is fast with visuals, and it's a very unique riding setup because you're on one of the Tron bikes. That's how you're sitting on the ride. You're not sitting down with the lap bar sort of thing. You're on it, and it's like it comes down on your back a little bit, and it locks you in a weird way where if you had like some claustrophobia issues, I could see that kind of like tweaking you out a little bit, but get through it. It's worth the momentary thrill. What else did we do? Did the standards, Dumbo, Pirates, Big Thunder, Jungle Cruise, the staples. And all in all, it was a good day. Magic Kingdom turned out to be a pretty good day. We got on pretty much everything we wanted to go on. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, it was a successful day. I don't know if we did a whole bunch of character meetings that day. I don't think we did. And then one of the days we did a character dining breakfast at Cape May, maybe, I think. I don't know. It was breakfast. It was beach themed. So, the characters would come out in their like beach attire. And it would have been cool if it was seafood, but it was breakfast and buffet style. So a breakfast buffet I can get behind because I'll just get a bunch of bacon. Like I just get I hyper focus on the things that like, I'm not a big breakfast guy. I'm not going in for the waffles or the pancakes or anything like that, but those breakfast proteins, scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, like, and being able to go back a few times, that was rad. Good times. I mean, I'm always down to do the character dining thing. That's more of a my wife thing. She's the character meet and greet fan, and I'm cool with it. I like it enough to do it. And I more so like to see how excited she gets and how excited the kids get. And I do get lost in it. You know what I mean? Like, I get that it's a person in a costume, but at the same time, I'm able to what's that phrase? Suspend disbelief. Is that it? I'm able to suspend disbelief and be like, yeah, it is goofy. And it was weird, though, for the breakfast thing, because the characters were Minnie, Daisy, Donald, and Goofy. I was like, bro, where's Mickey? I don't know if Pluto was there, too, actually, now that come to think of it, but all in all, it was cool. And then our last park day was... really kind of my favorite. Just it's Epcot. And Magic Kingdom. We found a really prime location for the fireworks. Like if you want to watch the fireworks, but you don't want to stand in that like suffocating crowd in front of the castle, they do really cool projections and stuff on the castle, which are fun to see, and it does add to the show. But if you just want like just a real kind of like peaceful vibe and you just want to watch the fire, you still hear the music just as loudly as you would anywhere else, or if you were standing in front of the castle. But where we were, it was just us, just our group. We were right like on the water. I think it's Rivers of America. Is that what it's called? Or is it Disneyland's? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. It was right there on Rivers of America. I really do think that's what it is. And we had the steamboat in front of us, and like right behind the steamboat, fireworks are going off and the reflection off the water. You'll see if you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I vote we watch the fireworks over there all the time, but the missus likes seeing the projections on the castle, so I don't know. But that was like the most ideal spot for fireworks viewing, in my opinion. And then, so back we went to Epcot, we did the whole shebang. It was Flower and Garden Festival, and you know me. I'm a sucker for a good topiary. I mean, I can't pretend I'm not. So Flower and Garden Festival, topiaries galore, but I didn't get to like peruse in a way I wanted to. We went for Flower and Garden last year, and we had a smaller group. We only went, it was my wife, myself, and Maverick. So it was just the three of us. So we really got to take our time and soak it all in. In a group of however many, 9, it was a lot. It was more challenging. There wasn't a lot of like pacing ourselves and sightseeing. It was like ride to ride to ride to ride to ride, which is all well and good and fun. With, there's no denying that's fun. But this is one of those times where it's like I'm more interested in a casual stroll through the park than being on a consistent mission throughout the whole thing. And now there are some people out there who would argue that Epcot is a half-day park, and to those I say, you don't know how to Epcot then. Sorry, it's a real thing. There's so much to do there. And honestly, it closes, I feel like, earlier than some of the other parks, Magic Kingdom for sure. And I feel that, I feel the shorter hours, because thinking back on it, there were still a couple rides we didn't end up doing, and we wanted to do some double go arounds on a couple rides, and we didn't get to do that either because we ran out of time. But we did get to do Ratatouille, which is the newest ride there, and that was a lot of fun. We got to do Guardians, like I said. We got to do Frozen for Maverick and Bane. Maverick is a giant Frozen fan, or he was. He doesn't really care to watch the movies recently, but he still got really hyped seeing like, oh my God. This was Maverick's first trip too, where he was like really kind of looking around and really taking it all in. Like, this is like, I recognize these characters, and this is a very wow kind of experience. Prior to like even just the trip we took last summer, like I would say he definitely still had a good time, but he wasn't as just taken aback by all that was around him. So that was really cool. That was a really cool experience to have with him. Yeah. So all in all, man, it was a pretty good trip. Definitely we'll be going into like much more detail in our vloggentaries. So if nothing else, hopefully all of this inspired you to be like, wow, okay. It was mildly entertaining hearing him recount their recent Disney trip. Wow, maybe I'll go and live a little vicariously through their experience. Maybe you're in a place where making it to a Disney park isn't super accessible to. Now, it's not like the easiest thing for us. It's a it's a solid day's drive, but it's, we're diehards. We're into it. Even our kids champion through that like long car ride to do the thing. We're raising them right. So yeah, for more and like more of a what am I trying to say? My brain is fried, dude. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's just a tired time in life right now, but I'm making it through. What was I gonna say? You know what? Forget it. Go watch the Vloggentaries. You'll enjoy it. I promise you'll enjoy it. I've got some cool ideas to expand and build upon. Vloggentaries, commentaries, watch-alongs are now commentaries. And still really committed to making like Fight Club the video element of Ragnarok podcast wise, but I also can do the retrospectives. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what to do with all of that. I like having the segmented episode types for the podcast, which ultimately would come down to Fight Club, retrospectives, and introspectives, which, is cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's all ever evolving and ever growing. So, yeah, this is really just a big pitch to get you guys watching the Vloggentaries. Well, the next time we meet in this way, I'll be doing some sort of deep dive into Snow White to go along with the commentary available now at leallegacy.com or on Rumble. Scope Rumble out. I'm not advertising for them for any other reason than we have videos available on Rumble that we don't have available on YouTube. So there is extra content there for you. That's where I'll be posting all the movie commentaries. So for maybe just for that reason alone, have it in your search history at the very least. Skeleton Crew is always ever evolving as well. Scope it out. The best way for you to support what we are doing here is to, well, of course, absorb as much of the content as you can everywhere and then like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those things. But in a more monetarily option of supporting, I don't know, dude, fried. I'm telling you, fried. I don't do subscription things. I know like the hot thing to do is like Patreon and whatever, and I just like I don't like middlemen. I don't like people, I'm direct to consumer, basically. I don't like middlemen. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'll ever do. If I ever do like subscription based content, like paywall content, it'll be directly on leallegacy.com. I'll find a way to keep everything in-house there, not go through like a Patreon or whatever. You know what I mean? It just seems something, and it makes me uneasy. So currently, the best way to do something nice for you, spoil yourself, and pick up something from our Skeleton Crew store, leallegacy.com/shop. It's Skeleton Crew is our lifestyle brand, and it's mostly streetwear, athletic wear, maybe for some stuff. It's really just kind of stuff I want to wear, and I make it available to my friends, all of you out there. And when I say athletic wear, mostly I mean because I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I wear rash guards, when I go roll. Well, I wanted my own rash guard. I wanted a skeleton crew rash guard, so damn it, I made a skeleton crew rash guard. And you can get those at leallegacy.com in our Fight Club collection. Ooh, I should put collection at the end of that. Yeah, that sounds better. Fight Club collection. Anyhow, that's behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, yeah, like I said, do yourself, treat yourself, and go pick something up from our Skeleton Crew store. Show your devotion to the cause, to the crew, and yeah, I think I want to get into making some pieces like limited series kind of things. Like, I always have the staples. I have staples. I have staple characters, staple logos, staple fonts, staple whatever. And I think I'm gonna get into like the like a collector's kind of realm. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make. I grew up collecting comics, and I was really into the whole like collectibles thing. So I want to find a way to produce legacy collectibles, like be trading card, like beyond like shirts and apparel, pieces of apparel that could also be, limited runs and stuff like that. But I definitely want to find a way to produce, just not to say that they would ever be worth anything anytime ever, but just like the fun of it, the fun of collectibles. You know what I mean? So the gears are always turning. I am always learning. And I hope you do show your support by shopping Skeleton Crew at leallegacy.com/shop, or in one of the many free options that's, following us on social media, which I have made very easy because everything is Leal Legacy. Leal. Is this the right one? There you go. Leal. I need to get those touched up. Leal Legacy, at Leal Legacy, or for whatever reason you would prefer to follow Skeleton Crew, which it's spoiler alert, the same source of content. But you can find everything, or you know what? Follow both. Support both. Skeleton Crew FC everywhere. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebooks, YouTube, maybe. Skeleton Crew FC for Skeleton Crew Fight Club. Yeah. Well, there we are. I'm gonna say we did it just because I'm burnt. I'm tired. I didn't even go through all my tea. Maybe that is part of the problem. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so follow us on social media, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. And if you don't feel like doing all that, or if you have done all that, well, you know what? Another way to consistently show some support is by being a friend and telling a friend. And I thank you for exactly that, for being a friend and telling a friend. I will catch you on the next time. That's what I said. That means I'm done. Like Daniel Day-Lewis at the end of There Will Be Blood. I'm finished. Is that what he said? After he beats the priest with a bowling pin. That was a good movie. Oh, movies. I'm caught up in the MCU. I'll talk about this next time. I'm caught up in the MCU, and I'm just... Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, until next time.